Hello, and welcome to another hilarious and quasi-educational podcast from comedian Max Weinstein. During the tour, be respectful to the other guests and to the staff at all times. Do not touch anything unless it explicitly says you are allowed. And do remember, everyone hates us here.
Hi, and welcome to Everyone Hates Us Here, your comedy walking tour podcast. Today we are in the Museum of Contemporary Art in San Diego on Kettner. There's a couple contemporary art museums, which I think is funny because they're all contemporary with each other. Anyways, today I'm here with my guest host and friend, Mason Beck. Mason, how are you doing?
I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go.
Ready to go?
You know, just
in no
jump
way,
on that horse.
in no way tired.
Or deprived.
No.
From alcohol or anything of the sort.
Nothing like that.
Just I'm just a specimen today. An absolute specimen.
Perfect health, Mason, joining us today for the tour. So we're starting our tour on the far right when you come in the door. So buy your ticket and then head towards the bathroom and past the bathroom, and we're going to be looking at our first piece of art back here. That's right. There's a piece of art past the bathrooms.
It's like when you're in a video game and you're just exploring things like for fun.
Yeah,
and you stumble upon something that's like actually significant.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is like an Easter egg. If you explore enough in the museum, you'll see this maze. It's from Roman de Salvo. It looks like electrical tubing, like wiring, lots of electrical boxes. It's quite a maze, and there's 3 orange lights on it. It's very pretty.
Yeah, I see I see 3 light switches that are all on, which apparently correspond to the lights. It's interesting because it's this amazingly complex tube of wires, but it all leads to the same spot, and it's such a small output for so much work. I don't know if there's a metaphor in that somewhere.
Yeah, I buy that. There's a lot going on here for very little result. It's probably the most complicated way you could do what needed to be accomplished. And I find a little bit of humor to that.
I feel like this is kind of the career.
Yeah, it's like
of a comic.
It's like an avant-garde electrician.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I have some outdoor lighting? I need some outdoor lighting on my house. Oh, I will do it the most complicated way possible to make a statement about society and how the labor and what it's worth. Communism will win.
I think I just want the lamppost outside of my backyard to turn on.
No. The proletariat will rise, and I shall express that through my landscape lighting. You will see.
I'm not even against communism, but
just art. All right, we're gonna catch up with you back south of the main lobby. Yeah. Just kidding. We didn't leave. Turns out the switches work.
The switches work. And I turn them off and on.
All right, so now we're entering the Peter C. Farrell Gallery. What we're looking at today is Prospect 2018 is the exhibit. I love this first one. This looks like a superhero fell to pieces.
Yeah, he's dismembered. This is the Dahmer superhero.
And there's just way too many arms. Like, there's so many arms here and legs. Like, I want to know what superhero this was. Like, it looks like a comic book exploded.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
Yeah, visually it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't even have anything snarky to say about this.
Yeah, no, I can't really. Anyways, so we're gonna head west. Looks like here's another superhero.
All right, so we got Superman holding a Black Ops book, which says 101 ways to destroy the Superman and Lois Lane.
Wow, that's I don't know why he'd be holding that book.
Yeah, it's weird. Is Superman like suddenly a spy?
Yeah, he's against himself.
Do you think he's KGB Superman, and that's how we got like? Because clearly this is a CIA book.
That's true. It does say Black Ops.
Is this like defective Superman? I'm sure that's.
Oh, he could have just stopped.
I think that is a comic, actually.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's like
Superman's been a zombie at this point.
like the Man of Steel Curtain.
Ooh, the Man of the Iron Curtain.
Oh, damn it! It is the Iron Curtain.
It is the Man of Iron.
So
He
just-
landed in Motherland after leaving Krypton, only to be raised by beet farmers in Siberia. They knew he was a strong boy, for he could lift twice the level of ox at only 4 years old.
The state soon came under power of this child and put him in factory.
He was best worker to ever have lived, and he stayed in that job forever.
He is the most celebrated member of proletariat ever.
He is true comrade for all men,
Not
accepting
like
no
selfish,
favor.
not like selfish American Superman who fly around using freedom and selfishness. in
Communist
this
Superman could leap tall building, but chooses not to, for he knows he must lift up his fellow brethren first.
It's beautiful.
All right, we're moving on. This is the west wall, this is the far east wall. For all of our compass-bringing listeners, we're looking at some sort of abstract. It looks like a face has been blown off, which is interesting. There's some clouds, a lot of red. I think that's blood, but I don't know. It says, there's a caption on it, "Pardon me, but another sort of poetry is unexpressed here. Perhaps is inexpressible." It goes on, but I won't tell you the whole thing. You gotta
I
come
thought
here.
you were going to do it. I was like, and I didn't know if I should say something or if I should just let you go. Read the
Absolutely
whole
should
thing.
let me do whatever I want.
Yeah.
However, no, they need to come here to the museum, see the art yourself. This, again, the goal of this podcast is to get you guys to see more museums and art galleries because they're really cool.
Yeah, we're just trying to promote art here. That's our real mission.
This is the real goal, is altruism.
All the people here may hate us, but they'll love us when people just come flooding into these places.
Yeah. If you come to one of these museums, tell them I brought you there. Also, be polite. Like, don't be an ass about whatever. So the next one down the wall is some sort of vulture carrying a heart.
Looks
I know
like
what
a
that
Nazi
feels
heart.
like. Oh, hold on. I don't know what that feels like. I have neither ripped out a Nazi heart or had a Nazi heart ripped out of me.
I think that was actually the first rough draft of the second Indiana Jones.
Oh.
But then they decided to save the Nazis for later.
That
At the
movie-
beginning, they almost just mashed up the second and third ones together where they just rip out Nazi hearts.
The Temple of Doom gave me so many nightmares.
It's a fucked up movie.
Like,
They try to pass it off as like some like fun family movie, but they're ripping people's hearts out of their bodies.
like that. No, yeah, that terrified me. Ugh.
Yeah, there's zombies in that movie.
Are there zombies in that movie?
Basically zombies.
I don't remember the zombies.
They're like under a spell. Like they're not dead, but they're basically zombies, from what I remember. Apparently, George Lucas had just gone through a divorce. Or no, Steven Spielberg had just gone through a divorce right before that.
All right, we're
One or the
heading
other.
east, and we're looking at an American flag. It's got a hole in it.
Hey, it's Mickey.
Hey, there's Mickey Mouse hiding in a hole in this flag, and
And
There's a
appears to be the
landscape
Grand
behind it.
Canyon, if I were to guess, or venture.
something
If
like
I were to
that.
be a true American and venture out there.
think that, what was this? This is representing our patriotism. We'll burn a hole in it. There's actually just a capitalistic wasteland behind it of neo-Nazi fucking bastards, racist Disney. Or, it could be something completely different.
I think Mickey's just poking his head out, just trying to say hello, teach us a lesson about morality.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie.
Showing us a thing or two about the good old USA. All right. And now, in the east corner, this is one I was waiting to absolutely talk about. It is incredible. I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at, if I'm being perfectly honest.
It's like a Yeti, but a bear at the same time.
Yeah.
You think so Yetis, right? If they're like a really old species, hypothetically, then they would have to evolve.
I guess, I could be willing to believe that there are some sort of Yeti, Bigfoot, Sasquatch type creature because, I don't know, people discover species, like that just happened. They found some crazy bee in the Amazon that has this disgustingly long stinger, but Yetis, maybe, I don't know.
This is definitely a Yeti bear, though.
This has got a bear face,
Yeah.
but he also has a party hat.
Yeah, but
And
it
the
doesn't look like
skirts.
he's having much fun, though.
No, he does not look like he's having a party. He looks like he's in detention in the corner with the dunce hat. It's like,
Yeah.
Albert, you know what you did. Get to the corner, you ugly bear monster.
Dude, maybe it's just like, how are Yetis ever gonna have fun?
What if Yetis are an intelligent creature that we have been oppressing?
Damn.
I'm thinking a B-movie spinoff, Yeti movie.
They did a Yeti movie with sci-fi,
Oh.
and they had a pencil, and they stuck it in front of the camera, and they used it as because they're jumping over like a spike pit, but the budget must have been low. It's clearly a pencil in there. You can see the number 2 on it if you freeze frame it. So
That's incredible.
You're gonna have to one up that movie pretty hard. It's either gonna have to be legitimately good or just horrifically bad.
Well, you know which one I would do. Horrifically bad. All right, we're heading farther south, and we're looking at a palm tree. A palm tree on fire.
Palm tree on fire.
That's something that I think this is just global warming. This is what's going to happen. This palm tree is spontaneously combusting like matches.
Dude, I believe it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was gonna spontaneously combust the other day.
Oh my God. So I tried to do another episode of this podcast in the architecture graveyard behind Cal Poly, and we had to stop because it was 105 degrees, and my guest was getting heat stroke. So I'm going to have to wait to deliver that podcast to people. I'm going to have to redo that in a time where it's not murderous out.
Yeah, you could splice in things. That would be fun.
Ooh.
You could have a conversation where you talk about what was happening and then put in snippets of the actual conversation.
Like a found footage episode?
Somewhat. Or
Podcasting
or
gone
kind of
wrong.
how Chappelle would do his thing, his skits that didn't get put through. An episode where he just goes through all the lost skits, and he talks about them, and he plays them, and he comments on them, etc.
Yeah, I could see that happening with some rich and famous. Go back to my origin days, i.e. right now. Hey, future me, bring up this conversation. It'd be weird.
Here, you want to pause it real fast? So yeah, the palm tree just burning down. It reminds me of my cousin who's a firefighter. He's very conservative.
Yeah.
And he made an analogy of palm trees burning down to gun regulation, because that's what you do.
Okay, please
So,
elucidate what that is.
Because my uncle was these palm trees are terrible in fires because the fire catches on the fronds and they just drift away and start fires in other places. He's like, why don't we He's like, we should do something to get rid of these fronds, or like if there's dead fronds.
We need frond control?
Yeah, we need frond control to prevent bigger fires from happening. My uncle, my cousin, who's a firefighter, is like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He's like, if the fire's gonna burn it down, it's gonna burn it down. It's pointless to even try to prevent anything from happening.
That
I'm
sounds
like
like
that's
the
the
worst
worst reasoning
firefighter
ever. Yeah, I'm like, how are? And he became like a captain, I believe, but now he's also like a firefighter and a police officer.
Crime's gonna happen. Why are we even trying to stop it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like. It doesn't.
You can't be a pessimistic emergency responder. Like, quick, everyone out of the building, or don't. You're dead anyways, I guess. All right.
Why even sound the alarm? Just a nihilistic firefighter.
Yeah, I hear screaming, but are they screaming because like they're getting hurt, or just because they realize that no one has really any meaning in this life?
Are those screams of those are screams of existential despair. Boys, we can let them go. We're sparing them a worse fate. Let them burn.
400 people died in that fire, but were any of us really living anyways? All right, we've taken a right, and we're seeing a tire. I believe this art piece is titled Tire, but this tire is carved.
Tire.
This is a printing tire. Just imagine.
So it's a printing tire. You cover the outside of it in ink, and then you can roll it on something and put a pattern on it. I think it's pretty cool. And then in the middle of the room, we've got a gold fern. It's like a light bulb, but then it's got a fern coming out of it with a big spiral tail.
Looks like it's like semen.
Okay, yeah, I can see that being a sperm.
It's like a metaphor that like sperm can they can create life on their own without the assistance. They can do their own thing.
Is that true? Is that the basis of men going their own way? Is that a sperm does not actually need an egg? Is that what you're implying?
Maybe.
Does sperm have an olfactory sense? Sperm can smell.
Is that true?
Yeah, apparently sperm use the sense of smell to navigate.
Wow. That's dope.
That's
They're
interesting.
If they use a sense of smell, it's like, do they have brains?
I wouldn't say they have brains, but am I saying that masturbation is murder? Yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, duh. We don't need to be so obvious here, Max. No need to be so obtuse.
Thank you. Now we're looking on, so same wall as the tire, but down a little bit. We're looking at some spheres, some balls. One's stripy. One's got some bears.
This is like Jupiter.
Yeah?
If it was if it updated its look for the contemporary era.
Jupiter in 1080p.
Yeah. Nah, dude, fuck that. 4K.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. We're looking, it's got a bunch of different animals on balls. That's by Jay Johnson.
Dude,
No.
what if you showed people back in the day 4K? Like in Babylonia.
I think first you have to explain what a monitor is and moving images.
Yeah.
Unless you just show them the number 4 and the letter K. And I think they'd ask you what that means. In Babylonian or whatever language they spoke. It's probably not Babylonian.
Yeah.
All right. Directly in front of us is a woman being attacked by some lobsters and fish. There's some faces in the background that look disapproving. If we didn't mention.
Those are they're just
She got some titties out.
Yeah, she does. But she's pushing one away. She's like, nah, you can't have this.
Yeah, she's like, right tit, you can have left tit. Nope, that's not for you.
Yeah, that's all me.
I respect that.
I respect it.
One tit for your homie, one tit for you. All right. We are taking a left, strolling into the depths of the museum. And directly in front of us is a gray and blue phone. I like it. Apparently we're supposed to pick it up and we're supposed to listen, so I'm gonna take a listen.
We're listening to the phone.
It was all like, I'm just saying, if you stole me, you'd stop talking to your ex so much. And then she was like, please, I'm on the phone. And then he just said, look, if you don't shut your mouth, I'm gonna fucking shit.
All right. If you want to hear the rest of that, you're gonna come here too. But it's a weird kind of gossipy line. I like it. Mason, any cute heads do anything?
No, they don't do anything. I
What's
feel good on my fingers, though.
Yeah, they've got a good. Oh yeah, it's got some
Little
good tactile
pound.
feedback.
A little bounce to it.
What is he talking about now?
I think it's like lessons in empathy.
Interesting. All right, we're gonna take a right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Taking a right after that wall, and we're looking in the little space over here. So you're gonna go behind you, behind the black bench. And now we're looking at a painting with, I think, a ham, like a ham on a table.
It certainly looks like meat.
Yeah, like a tube of meat. And then I think a cigarette with a little smoke still going.
Smoked meat, huh?
Ooh,
That's
that's
cigarette smoked meat.
cigarette smoked meat. That's how I like my meat, is some like birch or pine or cedar smoked meat. I like tobacco leaf and nicotine smoked meat.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're ever gonna get vaped meat. Like, you don't want the smoked meat, you don't want the smoky flavor, you want the vapey candy flavor.
Check out my vape grill, bro.
I'm a butcher, smoker, and vapor of meats. Oh god, vaping meat. That's the future of food, is vaping your fruits and vegetables and your meats.
Oh no. You have vaped broccoli.
Remember,
You ever had
kids, vape
steamed
your
broccoli? How
vegetables.
about vaped broccoli?
All the kids be vaping their vegetables these days. Alright, so we're gonna see this back wall, where it looks like we've got a naked woman, blue background, looks like some sort of helmet on the ground, I think. Looks like a football helmet.
I think it's a skull.
I think it's a skull.
I think it's cool.
Where's the eyes? There. Oh, right there. Okay, I buy it.
There's a little, looks like a small puddle of liquid on top of it. Like she just kind of peed on it.
Just pee in the skull?
Yeah.
Pee in the skull.
Pee in the skull.
That sounds like a band, like a ska band. Hey, welcome, and we're pee in the skull. Alright, now it looks like, ooh, this is a multi-medium art. Looks like we got some fur, we got some paint, maybe an oil, I think. Looks very tactile. I want to rub it. But it's got, it's not something you do at art galleries. You don't touch the art most of the time.
I mean, you're not supposed to.
I know, you touch it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Every piece I get.
Mason is a famous art toucher.
Dude, don't even. Sometimes when I see art, like I can't help myself. I just start touching it.
Can you tell us about some of the famous pieces of art that you've touched?
Which ones?
So no, you can't tell us about the famous art you've touched.
No, I can't. I lied.
Or maybe some famous art that's touched you. Mason, tell me where the art touched you.
I'm not prepared.
It's okay. None of us are prepared for life or for an art gallery of such a magnitude. This next piece, we're heading west on the southernmost wall. We see two women hanging out in a treehouse. naked with donuts and an empty bottle.
Dude, this is the happiest picture I've ever seen.
Yeah, this looks like some pure joy, just hanging out with a friend, naked, diddling yourself, eating some donuts.
You can make the whole podcast just about this guy.
So, I don't know if our listeners can hear, but today's episode features the squeakiest sound. And that squeaky sound is the Russian security guard, who has stopped to talk to us about 8 times. And each time we are pausing the podcast because I don't want to record this man while he's working, especially without his permission. So that's why some of the random breaks are in there. But
We'll address this later.
we'll go into a little bit more about how incredible this man is. But again, donuts and fingering yourself with your friends. Alright, so we're going to continue along the south wall, past the wall with the phone on it. And I saw, this is one of the pieces that Mason touched.
I did not.
I saw you touch it.
I did not.
I saw you.
I almost did. I really wanted to. But I
Okay.
restrained myself because I have principles and boundaries.
Can you tell us about the piece that your boundaries didn't let you touch?
Yes. It's really cool, actually. It looks like someone kind of crumpled up a piece of paper and then just kind of stuck there. It looks like when you're a teenager and you have your special towel and you don't wash it. And then it just kind of becomes fixed.
Are you saying that this statue looks like a dried cummy?
Yes.
Oh, gross.
But beautiful, but
Oh, a beautiful cummy. I was gonna say that this looks like a blanket that's falling and got paused in the middle of the air. Like maybe someone's security blanket as a child. This could be the loss of innocence.
it could be. Or it's like some beautiful textile that someone had made that they spent, that it was like their week's income and it just fell away. It's just the fragile beauty of life.
Or according to Mason, it's a dry
Or it's
cummy.
a cum.
Those are your options. Loss of
guess-
innocence, textile, or cummy. You guys vote.
I guess that's, you can apply that whole perspective to life.
Really, you
Just-
can. You're
I mean,
thinking about
I can look at you as a,
Go on.
a successful friend of mine, capable of engineering and pursuing life's goals in spite of obstacles in his way. Or you're coming.
I'm glad I'm one of those and not the other. What are we're looking right now at a curtain?
These are the drapes from the last Charlie Chaplin film.
Yeah, this curtain here looks like it's made out of patchwork. This is a community college theater, a very poor community college theater front curtain. I don't understand it, but
It's very thin. It's cloth. No, sewn fabric. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. All right, on the opposite wall, there's another piece of fabric. That one I like a lot more. It's got a lot of different patterns all sewn together. Got some stripes. You got some watermelon colors. I think that's an end table with some flowers growing out of it. It's cool. I dig it.
Yeah, I would totally put this in my house.
Yeah, I'd put that on a wall. One thing I just noticed that the bottom isn't perfectly linear. You got some tabs coming out, so it's a blanket that doesn't just have. It's not a perfect rectangle.
In some Native American cultures, their artwork always has a flaw in it, which just represents the fact that nothing is perfect in this world. They think that any artwork or anything made that is supposed to be perfect is almost an affront. Okay, I can't speak to that amount.
So that's
they
that's
don't
a
like
fact.
things to
That
be
is a
perfect.
guaranteed fact about Native American culture.
About some.
Brought to you by Everyone Hates Us Here, That's a max fact. We're going to put that on there. That's my stamp of approval, guaranteeing 100% accuracy in all cases. That's what we do here.
You talk to any Native American person that you meet, and they'll tell you the same thing.
Yep, 100% guaranteed. 100.
Max fact.
Max fact. All right, now we're going to keep going to the right. We see what looks like, actually I'm not triangles with a thing cut out of it, and what looks like a cigarette, I think.
Good afternoon. I'm a gallery educator here. Can I be of any help to you guys, or are you just enjoying yourselves?
Just enjoying yourself.
Okay. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Absolutely.
This is a collection in this half of the galleries about our permanent collection, which is over 5,000 works of contemporary art. And each gallery has one work that
We're looking on this back wall here. We've gone back to the same wall with the curtain. It's like a lantern of some sort, but it's in all black. It's maybe swing, maybe those are some motion lines.
Looks like it's being covered by that Charlie Chaplin cloth to the right.
There's a lantern in the back with Charlie Chaplin's curtain in front.
Yes.
All right, I dig it.
Maybe that's the hidden clue. Is all these things are related to Charlie Chaplin.
We're going to follow this wall back, and now we're looking at a bunch of money hanging from a tree.
Hey. That's the tree where money grows.
That's cool, I dig it.
In Tanzania, they have those.
Tanzania. And then, just a lot of different countries' monies, all very, it's cool. Got Venezuela, got Tanzania again, lots of Tanzanian dollars. I think that's because they're very cheap. Got the U.S., Nigeria.
These all equal the same thing.
I don't know, that would be interesting if they're all worth the same.
Just the $1 there.
I'm surprised that no one's been just stealing. Oh, we've got a contribution. Hey, look at that. Where's that from?
From Chile.
From Chile, all right. Very cool. On the second shelf, we've got some gold tools. Shiny gold tools. No one's adding to that contribution.
Oh, there's a...
All right. And now behind that money tree, there's a big map of the world, but the map is made out of tessellations of cartoons, like Barbie dolls, skeletons, Tweety Bird, Mickey Mouse, Santa, skeletons. All of Africa is skeletons. I find that to be racist.
And, what do you think that is?
Oh,
Is that Iraq?
well, that's the Middle East and the United Arab Emirates and all that stuff. So yeah, well, also includes Israel. This chunk over here, this part of the world. That's also made of skulls. So maybe valid. There's a lot of death here.
Yeah, there's a lot of death. It's all in predominantly black countries where the death is.
And Asia. Asia's got a lot of death. I like that Japan is one of the Powerpuff Girls, the green one, the angry one. Please don't hate me for not knowing her name.
Dude, you don't even know.
Buttercup?
Buttercup. Is she Buttercup?
I don't know, it's either Buttercup, Blossom, or Bubbles.
Oh, she's Buttercup.
Yeah.
For sure. How dare you?
On another wall, we've got Welcome to America's Finest Tourist Plantation. We've got some hands, we've got some guns.
Got some handguns.
Handguns. Yeah, I like this one. It's got a political statement of some sort. Maid service, please. I like it. Okay, now we're done on the left side of the museum. We're gonna go back out, and we're gonna see you on the westmost entrance to the north side of the museum.
This would be a great place to people watch.
It really would.
Just sit on a bench. the metro.
Yeah, to stare at folks.
Get high and stare.
So right now we're right outside Maori Baden's exhibit called I Walk the Line. And there's a big yellow purse type thing in the center of the hall.
This is
Not sure what it is.
This is the prettiest Tony Hawk ramp I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can see some skateboarders really enjoying this. It's got a big grind rail on the top.
Yeah, dude.
Some ramps for some sweet tricks on my board, dude. I
Bro.
skate. I totally skate.
Get that 360 ollie north.
720.
Coming off the top, brah.
That 420 kick flip spin flip.
Yeah, brah.
I've tried to skateboard once in a Target, and the back wheels of the skateboard were still covered in plastic, and I hit my head on the ground, and that's the way I am today.
Man, don't you like Target and Walmart skateboards make you not even want to skate? Like you look at skateboarders and like the skateboards look cool and they all know what they're doing. You're like, wow, that looks awesome. And then you go to check out a place to get it, and like it costs like $200 to get a cool setup with a board. So then you have to go get the cheap plastic wheels at Walmart, and you're rolling down your skateboard that looks lame as fuck, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're just like, people just look at you like you're an idiot.
Unfortunately, I have zero experience with that, but I will say that I agree that I never see bad skateboarders, so I just assume skateboarding is easy. Like, skateboarders need to make skateboarding look harder.
Because they all just practice in the front of their house until they can move along. No, you do see. I judge people who skateboard out in public that aren't good at it harder than anyone.
Really?
Because I feel like if you're skateboarding, like you're making a statement, like I'm cool.
Are
like,
you
look
from
at
the
me,
90s?
I'm cool.
Like the
I'm
early
skateboarding.
90s?
I mean, that's when I was born.
Yeah, I don't know, it just sounds like that's like an opinion, like an old school type opinion, like, oh, those skateboarders trying to be cool. I just like, oh, that guy's got a skateboard. I do feel that way about unicyclists. If you are on a unicycle in public, you are trying to make a statement. Like,
yeah.
No person who's like, oh yeah, man, I just unicycle to work. Like, I don't mention it to people.
Dude, when I was in SLO, I remember there was a unicyclist who would ride around town, and I hated him. And me and this guy were walking down the sidewalk. He was coming toward me, and just as we're like walking past each other, the unicyclist rides right past, and like as we both stop and just watch the unicyclist ride away on his stupid bike with one wheel. The most inefficient, stupid thing ever. And we're just watching this happen, and the guy turns and like says to himself, I need to get the fuck out of this place.
That's incredible. And I know one of the unicyclists of SLO, so I'm hoping it's not him and he doesn't get offended. But
Dude,
oh well.
he deserves to be.
Yeah?
He totally did. Well, no, he shouldn't be able to be offended because he knows what he's doing. I'm sure he's gotten all the shit for it already. If
Fair
he
enough.
can't build up that tough skin by this point, that is completely his problem.
Okay. A bold statement against unicyclists.
Yeah. My
okay.
tolerance ends at unicyclists.
Well, it's got to stop somewhere.
It's gotta stop somewhere. Pride weekend right now,
Yeah.
totally for it. Totally for it. If you're a smoker, smoke away. I don't care if it's bad for your health. You do what you want.
Murderers?
Murderers, hey, people make mistakes.
Molesters?
Unicyclists, no.
Molesters?
No, okay. Let's not go there, Max. Jesus.
So
Of
unicyclists
course,
are...
unicyclists are worse.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad we clarified that unicyclists are worse than molesters. That is something we've said repeatedly on Everyone Hates Us Here. That's something we stand by 100%.
So let's see. We've got an adorable family here.
Yeah, we're looking
It's
at
like the 70s.
We're looking at the left. We're looking at the westmost wall, and yeah, we're looking at a small family photo. I don't know if it's a Polaroid, but it's a square shot of 1:1 aspect ratio, which I think is very fitting, very 80s. Love it. We've got a letter, Dear Sharon. There's a whole bunch of other shit written.
Ooh, I think this is a letter from Rodney King.
Oh, wow.
No,
No?
this is too early. 1971.
Just another person
I'm
named
just
Rodney.
assuming, but it's the theme of this whole thing. Is, there's Black Panthers over on the other end.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Now, this exhibit is about the African American experience in the United States, and there's some images here that are painful. There are a lot of examples of black excellence, like an African American in his, I believe that's Army uniform, looking real fly.
Looking damn sharp.
Very
Damn sharp.
Over here, we've got, I think this is a picture of a young child in a big chair. And it's tessellated, so it's flipped, rotated, and there's a big pink V on all of them. I don't know if that's like a sponge. And then here it says, yours truly, John Edgar Hoover, director. That's when he was director of what, the CIA? The FBI?
I believe he was FBI.
Okay. But yeah, Hoover was a madman. Yeah, it was like completely
That's
paranoid.
scary.
All right.
I for a long time, I thought he was also the president. And I was like, dang, he went from being like the most hated president to the most hated FBI guy 40 years later. That's really impressive. But at that point, I started to respect Hoover. But then I realized that they're two separate people, which then makes it to where now I despise both of them.
Yeah.
It was one like respectable person got split into two awful people.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a hilarious thing. They're the same people. Oh, look, there's a pink diamond on the floor. I didn't notice that my first run through.
There's also a little pink wand over there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this has got to be some sort of, I don't know. It screams to me innocence of childhood destroyed by big government decisions. Maybe your dad getting arrested because there's a mug shot on the other wall. Possibly a Black Panther being arrested. We've got a little cop car on the ground on a small exhibit, or a small piece. I'm not really sure. It's like a shiny square with a cop car on it. It also has a fly on it, but I don't know if that's like a real fly or a... Yep, that is in fact a real fly and not part of the art. But it was on a cop car, which proves cops are shit.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
like 90% sure that was part of the exhibit.
Yeah, me too.
It kind of scared me when it flew away.
All right, now we're looking at what looks like FBI paperwork. Potentially dangerous group because of emotional instability activity in groups engaged in activities inimical to U.S. Oh, wow. So this is...
That's Hoover again.
Yeah, this is more
Your boy.
FBI stuff from Hoover. Oh, yeah, talking about going to war with the Black Panther Party. Yeah,
Dang.
that's some real shit. Like, no, the FBI literally went to war. There's some crazy stories of the like FBI busting into homes of Black Panther Party and just shooting up people, and then afterwards just being like, "Yep, defending ourselves."
Oh yeah. No, there needs to be more movies about these things.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not going to put them in books that kids are going to read. I'm going to let them talk about that.
Yeah, I really wish I had learned more about the Black Panthers growing up, because I was just told
too.
like, oh yeah, it
They were
was a
told
group
they were
of
like bad.
yeah, like they were like criminal,
Yeah.
but like they had like, I don't know, we were given like they were the righteous criminal. They were trying to do the right thing, but they were misguided.
Exactly.
We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
such a Martin Luther
That was
King
what
Jr.
we were taught to think about it.
Martin Luther King, great, of course, incredible person, but we didn't learn shit about Malcolm X. We didn't learn anything about like black militants or people who like wanted to make a difference in a different way.
We did learn about Garvey
Yeah.
a little bit, but also very limited. Very like, oh, he just wanted them to go do their own thing, and that's bad. It's like, you weren't there.
Yeah, like we get a very one-sided, very like only look at the minorities who are peacefully protesting.
Which is so funny because people hated Martin Luther King for not doing anything violent. They thought he was the worst person ever, and now he's like the one black person any white person knows. That's always my favorite thing, is like, that's when you know a white person has no idea what they're talking about, is when they like quote or reference Martin Luther King in any way.
Yeah, you know a white
Like,
person is
what
full
would
of shit.
MLK think about this?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the only person you can think of.
Yeah, I definitely have had people be like, oh yeah, BLM is shit. They should do it like Martin Luther King. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure they are. Like,
It's pretty similar.
yeah, they're both standing up for black rights in America, but okay, make the arbitrary distinction because you don't like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we are. I think this is Rodney
Not-
in his,
not to
his
mention-
full Black Panther regalia.
Not to mention the Black Panthers just looked fucking cool.
Oh yeah, they
Fucking leather
definitely
jacket.
had their shit down.
Nobody else outside of France should be allowed to wear a beret unless you're special forces or you're a Black Panther.
Yeah, I would say the coolest people who wear berets, Black Panther is number one coolest beret wearing group. Underneath that is the Green Beret. Underneath that is the Spetsnaz. And then the French.
And then the
And I
French
don't know any other group of people who
And
wear
they don't-
berets
don't
besides...
even rock their own. It's funny because in every other thing, it's like badasses wearing berets, and then in the last case where it originated, it's like French people
And then the only
with
other
their
people who wear
stupid
berets...
white and black striped shirts, walking around looking like mimes with their Virginia Slim cigarettes.
The French are smoking Virginia Slims.
They're smoking Slims. I don't know if they're from Virginia, but they're slim,
All right.
and they're out of that stupid Cruella de Vil
Oh, yeah?
mouthpiece.
No one likes those.
No.
You're just a complete pompous asshole if you smoke using a cigarette
Yeah,
holder.
yeah, and that's what French people do.
I
All
actually
of them.
think they're pretty cool. I have one.
French people. A
I
French
have
person?
one French person at home in my basement, locked up, and
That's pretty
they
cool.
make baguettes for me.
Nice.
I guess I just said they, so yes, there's many of them.
Okay. Or you could just be using the proper pronoun.
That's true. It's a gender-neutral French
It's a
person
gender-neutral
locked
French
in my
person.
basement.
They are in your basement.
All right, I think that concludes our look at the Contemporary Art Museum in San Diego on Kettner. We're going to catch up with you outside in just a second. I get like 2 seconds in, and then it was
I'm just kind of cutting you off.
and the French, they're wearing their shirts. And I'm just like, And the other people who wear beret,
I'm so sorry. I like the guy. You think he's gay? Is that the commentary? It's a lot of pink, a lot of sparkles. They intentionally update this every week or every month. It's Pride. Huh?
I don't know. Just kidding. We didn't leave
San Francisco.
We didn't leave. There's one other wall that we didn't even see, and that's got some glitter and family photos that are crossed in and out. Family pictures of Rodney during special events. Him and his kids. This is really the most beautiful wall in my opinion. I can't believe we didn't talk about it. This wall, I'd say, is probably worth the price of admission, which is $10. Very beautiful pieces. Some very touching pieces of birthdays, pageantry, loss, love, little wicker chairs. There's a tiny wicker chair, and I remember having a very similar wicker chair when I was a kid. One that I would wear as a hat, pretended it was a helmet. But yeah, there's also a doily on the wall. And that's actually it. The last of our adventure at the Contemporary Art Museum in San Diego on Kettner. Now we will meet you outside. I promise.
How many
Okay,
how
we're
many Black
outside.
Panthers members are there?
I don't know how many
Or
members
there
there are.
gotta
of
be
Black
like
Panther
total
Party.
thousands, right? How many of them had a 500-page FBI file, do you think?
Probably just the leaders.
Maybe all of them.
That's a lot of pages.
I know.
That's like 5 million pages.
What else are they gonna do?
I don't know.
It's the 60s. They didn't have Flappy Bird.
So you're saying that the FBI agents were doing that for fun? They were writing pages on Black Panthers just because they didn't have a phone app to play with?
Yes, that's precisely what I'm arguing.
All right, so one of the common features in that podcast that you just heard, you heard the squeaky shoes of the Bulgarian security guard who interrupted us a half dozen times to tell us about the art or ask us how we interacted with it or to show us videos from Facebook of other similar art. Mason, do you want to describe the first video he showed us?
So the first video the man showed was really a stunning piece. It was like a giant log of wood that people were carving into, and it was like they're creating this massive city, and it was quite beautiful. And the Bulgarian man agreed and went on to further add that only Asian people were capable of making such a work of art.
I thought that was absolutely hilarious and was dying a little bit on the inside when I heard that.
He was so sincere.
Yeah,
And
he
then,
had no hatred in his heart.
In awe. It was just like, man, only an Asian person could do that. And like, I don't even know how I feel about it. Because it felt, all I heard was like admiration. Really like misguided, where the fuck did you come up with that? But at the same time, admiration nonetheless.
Yeah. Only Asian people are capable of this.
Only those beautiful, hardworking, big picture-minded Asian people.
Only
Superior.
Only Asian people have the talent to pull off something as beautiful as this.
No culture moves me to tears more than the Asian.
Yeah, it was really incredible. We also got interrupted. You heard for a moment the art educator. They have one of those here, and if you really want to learn about the pieces, I recommend you probably talk to her, because all of the information we gave you could be wildly inaccurate, if we're being honest.
I think "could" is even a generous term.
But we're probably going to close it out now. It's very loud on the street outside. Mason, thank you so much for being on Everyone Hates Us here.
Hey, fucking thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. For those at home, where can they find you? You got a Facebook or something?
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere.
Okay.
If I want to be found, I'll fucking tell you.
Okay. Viewers at home,
Otherwise, just leave me alone.
if
Don't.
Mason wants you to find his comedy, he will come to you. But for me, you can find me at Max Weinstein on Twitter or Facebook. And you can also find at EHUH Podcast. That's Everyone Hates Us Here Podcast. At EHUH Podcast.
Or-
That's on Twitter. Yeah, that's the sound people make when I describe what my podcast is. They go, yeah. On Facebook or Twitter, EHUH Podcast. Thank you guys very much. Bye.